Thokozani, Thokozani. Thokozani Jindlondo. Thokozani bantu abadala, Thokozani umkhulu nabogogo. Tawukanti ngemakhehla sisho njalo shokini. Siyanemukela, welcome. We are today, let me just get comfortable. I guess today you can actually already tell what it is what spirit we're going to be discussing from my body. Today we are going to be discussing the Mnguni spirit, or the Mnguni spirit, which is mainly an ancestral spirit from the Mnguni people. The Mnguni people are people that are descendant of the Guni people. The Mnguni people are the people that live in Southern Africa, mainly, and they comprise of the Xhosa, the Ndebele, the Swati, the Zulu, okay? And then there's the people also, the Ngoni now, would be people in Southern Africa and East Africa. And this would mainly be people from Tanzania, people from Zambia, and people from Zimbabwe here. But these people, the Ngoni, are descendant of the Nguni. I think I just wanted to make that clear. And a whole lot of us, because of all our lineage, will have Nguni, the spirit. So I just wanted to make that differentiation before we start. We have Mkhulu Ben today, who is going to be teaching.
Ngiyathokozisa nami ngithokozisa bogogo bemphehla. Kanti bonke bomkhulu ngiyathokozisa emakhaya. Ngithi ndawo weshewe. Kusho ukuthi sikhuluma ngale umoya lo, the spirit of, they call it Umnguni. One of the spirit, and as some of the spirits have been discussed before, several of them been talked about. But the fundamental thing is that every spirit, as we have mentioned before, it goes with a certain nation. It has got its own nationality, where it emanates from. And you see that every spirit will be aligned to certain people, will be called by the certain type of people. Because when we talk about Nguni or Umnguni, Abanguni, we're talking about the certain people which normally, especially in the southern part, when they talk of Abanguni, they will mention the Zulus, they will mention the Xhosa, and they will mention the Swazi, and they will mention the Ndebele. You see, as Abanguni, you see. So, but we know that there are also Abanguni, even in the other places. Not only with that Abanguni, they are only found in the southern part. Because even in Zambia, you can find Abanguni. We know that is Ndaba. He also traveled from KwaZulu during these wars, and then he settled there in Zambia. And then they called them the Ngonis. And you could find them, even the Ngonis, situated even in Malawi. In Malawi, there's also a certain section where you will find the Ngoni is there practicing it. So the pronunciation might look like a bit different, but at the end of the day, the Ngonis and the Ngunis is one and the same. If you can check even the attire, you can check most of the things they do, the way they dance, certain practices, you could find that these are one people, you see. That's why, especially the southern part of Africa, we are mostly related to one another. And even the one that are normally not called Abanguni, but you will find that in one way or another, we are related. So we have got this spirit now that is known as Umnguni, which is a spirit that works among the Sangomas and the Tinyanga. It's quite a common spirit. You see, you know, when we're talking of this spirit, okay, we will say that the spirits have got nationalities, where we know, as I've mentioned, and it has got its own language, which the languages will be more of Isinguni, and then it has got also Impande, which the impande of it will be more of available among the Mnguni people. We will find it because when we say a spirit has got a language, during the time where umuntu ashayelwa noma kukhuluma ledlozi lakhe, that person speak that language. You see, just last week, Shaila, another person, that lady, she's a Sutu. But because, first of all, the Nguni spirit came before, and she was speaking Zulu. And then thereafter, then the Mdawe come, and then she was speaking in Dawe, which these are the languages of that spirit, because each and every spirit will have its own language. And how normally do you see that maybe someone we are shayelwa, and then you will hear from the language that now this person Umnguni is speaking. You hear from the language that now Umdawe is speaking. So all it works exactly with the, because each and every spirit has got its own way and it's got its own languages of which language, and that language it's the same language that you will find among the people. If we are saying Umnguni, when a person ashayelwa and then the spirit of Umnguni rise, that spirit will reveal itself with the very same language of the Nguni nation. Just as I've said, that when you are talking of Umdawe, when that spirit reveal itself, it will reveal itself through the language of Umdawe, and the person will speak a unique language. You see, even the dancing styles are not the same. Even Isigubu, when it's Shaiwa, it's not the same tune. There is a way of Shaya Isigubu for Umnguni. There is a way maybe Shaya Isigubu for Umdawe. Each and every spirit has a way of how to do Isigubu for that particular spirit, so that spirit and the spirit will rejoice, because if you start now to Shaya Isigubu and sing according to that spirit, then you will the spirit, when the person is in that spirit, the person will rejoice, because the spirit will rejoice that now that person is singing in that particular, even the songs, they will be in that particular language, you see. So that's the spirit of Umnguni, which means, but now the spirit of Umnguni, it doesn't go alone. Like most of the spirit that we know, that we have spoken about, they normally don't go alone to a person, that you find that that spirit goes alone. Though when you're talking of a spirit of Umnguni, it's one spirit that has been a bit easier to be transformed, because during colonization, there was a time where they wanted to transform some spirit so that they can work in church. You see, so the spirit of Umnguni was one spirit that would be transformed so that it can work in church. You see, though there are those spirits which it was very difficult that you would transform that spirit to work in church. But when talking about Umnguni, it was a spirit that you would be easily transformed, that it can work in church. You find it transformed it to be. Then because most of the spirits, Amadlozi, when they work in church, they are normally called Isitunywa once they are fully transformed. So then Umnguni was one of the spirits that used to be transformed to work in church, because you're talking of the others like Umdawe, Nzuza, those ones are difficult to transform them to work in church. Balozi can also be transformed to work in churches. That's why even now it's very difficult to find a pure Sangoma who has got Abalozi. If a person wants to go for initiation for Abalozi fully, a person will definitely struggle, because you will find it very difficult to find, because most of the people with that spirit have been transformed to work in churches. We know several churches that you find those people working with such spirit. But Umnguni was one of the spirit that was also transformed to work in churches. But
so what you're saying, Kesha, is that Umnguni is very adaptable, which is we are kind of adapted because it wants to work. It's a spirit that needs to work, and it will suit. It will make itself suit so that the work is done, so that it works, so that its work is done. That is what you're saying, Kesha.
Yeah, that is possible. Yeah, it's unlike the others. It's almost impossible to transform them. But Umnguni, and if you can consider again Umnguni, it's not a troubling spirit like you're talking of Umdawe and the Inzuza. It's not a spirit that when it's in you, it's going to trouble you and give you lots of trouble. Though again, that we need to know that you won't have Umnguni as a single spirit in you. So, Umnguni, you will have Umdawe, and then you will have Umnguni. That's why when a person ashayelo, the Umnguni will manifest first, will speak first at normal, and then Umdawe will come thereafter, because Umdawe is a king. And then Umnguni normally works like the messenger of Umdawe, because those spirits, they work hand in hand. Even the Umdawe doesn't need Umnguni. See, they will have to function hand in hand. That's why you can't have one. You can't have Umdawe as a singular spirit. You will have Umdawe and have Umnguni, because these spirits, they work hand in hand. You see.
And also,
I
think also it would be nice to actually highlight the fact that they are not that the spirits are different, like we have been discussing. Spirits are different, and they all have different functions. Each spirit has its own function and its own role, and it has also these different ways. They all have different ways of manifestation. The main role of Mnguni is protector, right? It's the protector and the guide. That would be the main role of Mnguni, and it is ordinarily a blood spirit. A blood spirit, which means it's a blood ancestor. Unlike Umdawu, but we have actually learned that Umdawu is a water spirit mainly, but it can also be a blood spirit. I'm just trying to, because you are I just want us to be able to make sure that the viewer understands that they both have different roles, or whatever other spirit will manifest them now. So the spirit said that basically. I'd like for you to speak about that, as you speak about, because also we've spoken about how also the spirits are affected different places in our bodies even as well. Umnguni is said to sit in the gut.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I'm with you that this spirit, they don't have a conflict to one another at all. They will always work hand in hand, and they always give a chance to one another. And that's why when Ipoboga, kuzopoboga mhlambe Umnguni kala, and do its work and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak, then thereafter Umdawe will come thereafter and also manifest itself. They will always give themselves the one conflict with, you see. And because at the end of the day, they've got different duties, even when they are performing. More ematambo nemihlahlo, most of the time, those are done by Umnguni. Some of the healing work, there are these ones which are particular for Abanguni, for healing. And even when you're coming to the trees, we know that Umdawe is more for Ufema, and it also does healing, because Umdawe doesn't akangeni Umdawe emathanjeni ekushayeni emathambo, akangeni nasemihlahlweni. Kodwa umsebenzi wakhe, mostly the main duty for Umdawe is Kufemba. So, and he has got also particular trees that now they use a certain trees that Amanda, you know, when you go to different healers, you will find that this particular healer, when he heals, he uses mostly the Nguni trees to heal. And then you will find a particular that this one he used more of the Bandawe ones. And they have all different. You see, there are times where when you are healing a person in the particular, or you are doing something, you will definitely need the Bandawe tree, or you will need the Banguni trees to heal that particular person, because that particular sickness, it's suitable for Banguni. Because those spirits, they don't conflict. That's why they don't work individually. You see, even during initiation, but though at the same time, if we are making lipulo, you can mix lipulo at the same time. Once, like you won't, like there will be no reason that now I make lipulo for Umnguni, I make lipulo for Umdawa, I make lipulo for Rinzuza. Maybe the person has got the three spirits. You can simply take Abanguni lipulo and take Umdawe, mix it, make it one. The person eat at one. The spirit won't have a problem when it comes to that, because they will. You see, the spirit, they work hand in hand, because they both lives in that particular person. You see, the only time whereby where umuntu uthole ukuthi kuzoba nezitsha ezi2 or ikhwama ezi2, it's when asesithi there is Umnguni wakho from your mother's side, there is Umnguni from the father's side. There might be ube nekhwama ezi2 lapho. The other one is from the father's side, the other one the mother's side. Even when it comes to Umdawe, you might have imituntu, ibe two, yekfem. One from your mother's side, one from the father's side. That is also possible. But it will be a particular time when someone comes for healing that the spirit will decide with this person in Mlapa at the side of Mama, this person in Mlapa at the side of Baba. If they require too, it will all depend to the spirit. Even if sometimes you might have gone to people like Femba, I will do Femba under the banner ya Baba. Now I will do under a banner ya Mama, because the person has got two of the Mitun. But at the end of the day, there's no contradiction whatsoever. The spirit will work and well. When even you're eating lipulo, you will eat one lipulo for all of them. Even if that this coming from the father's side, this coming from the mother's side, you will do it once. You see, when it happens. You see, so just as you know, like Babanguni mostly are people who are more on imbuzi and using imbuzi, a god. It's one of the most important things for Abanguni. When you're talking of a god, it's very, very, very important. Banguni. That's why when a person adds into aso, especially for the Umnguni spirit, you will need a god, because when you come to Abanguni, you come to Imbuzi, the god. It's one of the most important things. And they will say, idlozi, baze basho, but ilithethwa ngembuzi, because Umnguni, as a spirit rooted to Amanguni, there's nothing they could do without a god. Whenever they are doing any important function, they will do it in a god. That's why even you will find that we have got Basotho. Basotho, they do their work with a sheep. Most of the thing they do it with a sheep, but when it comes to initiation into Bangoni, they know that that's the time when Badla Intwaso, they will need a god. It doesn't matter that they'll say at home we don't use the god at all, but now they are doing that under the banner of this spirit, because this spirit, the Banguni, it's not them who are doing this, but it is the spirit that lives in them. Because we know that when people, you see, they must understand that it is the spirit that lives in them. You know, one thing that I want to highlight, you see, you know, that this thing that is common among people who have got any of the spirit, that I'm going to be initiated around my place. You see, we must know that some of the spirits are coming far from us. So and you might not understand, there might not be people around your area who will fully understand that spirit. But it would be an unfortunate thing that some people would say, I know the spirit. I know the spirit. I understand it. You see, because they just want to initiate you, and then at the end of the day, you will have trouble. But people, they must know that when you've got a spirit, you must be prepared to travel, because the spirit itself, it has traveled to be in you. Because see, through this intermarriage, through moving and from one place and to another, you know, like we're talking with, we have got spirit like the Amandigi. Amandigi, that's a far away spirit. You're talking of the spirit that it's one of the spirit that even in the southern part, it's so misunderstood, because that spirit, it's emanate from the East Africa, I'm saying West Africa most of the time, in the places of Guinea, Mali, and all from the Mandika people. So if, let's say, you have got that spirit, you might find sometimes that if you want a proper initiation, you might have to go that far, because even ancient, we must remember that people used to travel when they've got spirit. You will find a person from Joburg that is going to go and be initiated in Mozambique. But now, people who have got spirit now, they will want to be initiated next door. They always strive to be next door. They will even ask me, don't you know someone around my area who can initiate me well? You see, and you find that the spirit that is in that person is from far, and there is no person around that area who will initiate the person very well. So we must know, like now I've mentioned that you could be Umsuthu, but now you have got the Nguni spirit, and now you are initiated. You know, particularly that according to your culture, maybe possibly you don't use a god. But now, because we have got the spirit that requires you to use a god, and through that spirit, you will find yourself now obliged to use a god and eat the blood of the god, because now the spirit that is in you, it's a Nguni spirit. So in one way or another, you might find yourself speaking Guni, because I've seen Basotho, Umshayela, Ipoboga, Idlozi, akhulume singuni, will speak Nguni language, because the spirit, it comes from far, and as the spirit, it comes from far, so anything would be possible there. So people, they must know that Lidlozi liyahanjelwa, and you must be prepared to travel. You know, sometimes Lidlozi, you know, I know one Sangoma that I work with, was initiated in Zimbabwe, but originally the person is born from Soweto. You see, so you could be initiated in Zambia, you could be from Western Cape, and to get a proper initiation, you have to go to Mpumalanga, you see, because most of those spirits, their nationalities, and their nationalities is where you will find most people who understand and who have got the right route for you, the right route that you can use to initiate the person. Because you will find, like in other, you see, like now, you go to Cape Town. Cape Town, it's very rare that you could find a proper impande for Inzus. It's very rare. You see, they might just say, we've got it, the impande, but it's very rare that you will find the proper impande for it. And at the end of the day, you will try and say, hey, because I'm here in Cape Town and I want to be initiated. And then now you will try and say, now I want to find someone around Cape Town that will initiate me into this spirit. But it will be not possible at other stage. And that's why even ancient people used to travel, used to go when it comes to initiation. People they need to know that the spirit, you go for the spirit, because the spirit, some of the spirits are not familiar with within your culture. You see,
because it's as you it's just also just pointing out that in our ancestry we come from different places. From generation 4, 4 generations back, I already will have 64 great grandparents already. You know, 9 generations back, I already have, that is now 2048, for instance, great parents. So all of those people, any one of those people could manifest in you, or could be so lingabe from anywhere. It could be coming from anywhere. So mawukhuluma ngekuthi liya sentshenelwa liyahanjelwa vele kunjalo, and nekuthi sekunalokuthi vele people now want to negotiate their own intwaso without going, without following or being guided by idlos. And that is how we end up with situations where people have experienced such difficulty and abuse and so many things. It's because of we do not wait on the spirit. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that when we get ourselves, when we are confronted with the situations that we find ourselves in, Maukvela or Manifesta Lidlot, it is important to, I don't just make how critical it is, just point out how critical it is that we know, we study our family history or our family tree. I know, Guti, as so much has happened, and the past 2, 3, 4 generations have not paid much attention to, and not because by Afuna, but because of colonization and Christianity, and so much has happened. Didn't it for that have fallen on the wayside? So we find Guti, piecing together our history becomes difficult. But it actually, if you sit back and you wait on Lady Lord, it will guide you and it will show you. You will get to a point where you actually, you get that information, it becomes revealed to you. And as usual, so it's also about being patient. Mkhulu, yeah, we've said so much. I'd like for you, Mkhulu, to go into the signs.
Okay. You know, as I've said, that Umnguni doesn't go alone. When you won't go, it won't go alone. And you will also have Umdawe. So you won't have isolated signs that are so much different from the signs that will happen to a person who has got Umdawe. Because the reason being, the you have got, they come like a package. They're like a package to you. So the signs, they won't be that different from the signs that you also experience when you have got the signs of Umdawe, because they will always want to show themselves what that now I have. It will be most different in the even in the emahiya mhlambe lo wavama kwaphupha kwekuthi anjani the colors, because like now you are wearing more as the Umnguni. In fact, yeah, the way you are wearing, it's more like a Nguni one who is going to practice in a Nguni way. You see when you have been to Ufemba, you will see this Tinyanga Bafemba. He will first wear the attire for Umdawe, Akfemba. When he has finished, he changed the attire. He dressed like you have dressed. He now is starting to perform the very same attire for Umnguni, because Umnguni now you will also dream the very same snakes. You will have the snakes dreams. You can also have the same headaches and have almost the same signs that are happening, because again, even in Zuza, you won't have Inzuza without having Umnguni. That won't happen. You will also have Umnguni. So the things will always work and manifest within you in a body, because as I've said, that they don't go alone. You won't have Umnguni, that this person has got just Umnguni as a spirit. No, they come together, the spirit, because when you go back from where we come from, our life has not started here in the southern part. Even there at the back, we were once together as a nation. You see, even Banguni and the other, even Namubandawe, Banguni and Bandawe, they are where they meet. When you go back to the history, even when you're talking about these people of Inzuza, you will find that in one way or another, they have in one way mixed with Abanguni. So now that's why when the spirit comes to you, it doesn't come as an isolation that now we have got Umnguni, but now it will come as a package that now you have got Umnguni, Nemdawe. So that makes that the signs of the spirit, they won't be so unique, because you will experience the signs concurrently as they are happening. You will experience the sign concurrently that will show that you have got a certain calling. You see, because you don't have one spirit that is in you. But we know that Umnguni, it's not the one that normally puts the pressure on you. You see, for Gutwaza, the ones that will put that pressure cause the constant headache, causing all the troubles and all the like when are not served well. We know that it's either going to be Umdawe or Inzuza. These are the ones that will push that pressure and cause them, because these ones, as I've said, that these ones, they are more powerful than Umnguni at the end of the day. These ones are greater than Umnguni. So that's why their presence will be much felt more than the presence of Umnguni, because they will show themselves that we are here and we are more powerful and we want this thing to be done. And fortunately, majority of Emapeklo, they can do well for Umnguni. You will go to initiation and you find that you have got Umdawe Mnguni, and they will do very well for your Umnguni. But they will find that Umdawe wako, Lenzuza yako was left untouched. But then you find that Umnguni wako is at peace, has eaten well, is satisfied. But now these two, they're normally the one that are left behind, these two. Most of them are people, and they understand, majority of them, they understand well when it comes to initiation of Umnguni, the trees for Umnguni, because even if you go to Faraday, it's easy to find a proper one for Umdaw. I'm saying for Umnguni, but yeah, it's easy to find a proper one. And that's why most when you check people bahlola labanele king, you will find ukuthi majority umnguni wakhe was saved very well. But now when you fika umndawo ithambo lemndawo lizovele likhale ulibone ukuthi lijambe libheke ligqume libhekele ibonise ukuthi no ayikho lento for mina vele angathintwa at all. So but when it comes to umnguni, most of they are trying. Most of them they are trying. Yeah, that's why you know that we have got very few now sangomas that can do ukufemba, because ukufemba it's done by umdawe, and that umdawe is the one that's normally left untouched. And then but umnguni is for bones, maybe ushaye umhlahlo ulaphe bantu, ushaye umhlahlo ulaphe bantu uqhubeke phambili. But now this one is for ukufemba, and then healing has got its own particular trees, especially for healing this tough sickness. You see, which we won't mention now. There are specific sickness that will definitely need, if the person is sick in this particular way, you need the Ndawe trees in order to deal with this. Like if a person has got what we call umdliwa, what we call it.
Exorcism,
yeah, when you're talking of umfukwa, because umfukwa, it's one of the most stubborn spirit that you can go with. That there are very few people that can take it out from you. And in that particular instance, if you have got umfukwa or umdliwa at home, definitely you will need a Ndawe spirit to deal with that particular umdliwa.
Exercise.
Yeah. So yeah, so that this particular one to only yeah. Yeah, I'm saying with it there, this particular one where you know that this one you can heal with the Nguni trees, but this one which cannot be healed with the Nguni, you will particularly especially need the Ndawe ones to deal, especially the very, very stubborn, because Umdawe is a very stubborn spirit, to be honest. Very, very stubborn. You see, you know, when if you meet a Mdawe person, just Mdawe, and you wrong that person will never forgive you. Because I know one of my great Gogo wam. You know, Gogo wam is, I don't know now how to call it. There's something that didn't go right when my grandmother was paid the bride price. But even up to now, after so many years, we will go and find that she's still angry even now, because she was Ndawe. And she would be still angry until about 3 to 4 years back. We have to go and pay back and appease her spirit and do right, because she will be angry, I don't know for how many years. Those people, they don't easily forgive. You see, when they're angry, yeah, when they've got a grudge or a war against you, that's why when you have got a calling for them, that thing, you have to do it. It's gonna be war if you have not accepted that calling. Your life will have troubles, but when you come to Umnguni, it's not the one normally that will cause the havoc and cause the trouble. You see, Umnguni, if your Mdawe maybe was not matured, that now it has come to cause problem, you would live with Umnguni, maybe even find out you didn't even go for initiation. Because that's why for it can be even converted to be Isitunyo. You see, it's not the one that gives troubles and all the like, you see, Umnguni, but the trouble is on the other side. That's where most of the troubles. Yeah.
So, please speak also of Mkhulu, of the the physical manifestation. Makuphume umnguni ukuthi ubona njani ukuthi na umnguni ke nakulokuphumile manje. Ukuthi makungabe kuvele yes asikhulumi ngoba vele sikhuluma ngemnguni. Ukuthi awubona ngani ukuthi na umnguni uphumile. Phandle kwe language, what else?
Mostly kuba ngilama signs gogo laba, the mostly kuba ngilama signs. You see the signs, even the dancing, the reaction, it becomes more of, even the dancing, even if a person, the dancing side, the reaction of the person, it's the one that shows. Umnguni uthanda ukugida, and has got its own way of gida. It's got its own way, and it's got its own songs that are sung in a particular way, you see. And Umnguni is active, thanda ukugida, but when you come to Umdawe, it comes like a king, comes in a different way. But Umnguni, it's more active. It's more active when it does things. It's more active. So that, yeah, it's more
kunanane angisho kunanane emsindo mangeni makufika umnguni makufika umnguni kuyavakala ukuthi nawo ke kungenile ngathi ungena impi ngathi kungena abantu bempi basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kesha?
It will come as exactly as you say. It's unlike Umdawe. It's more.
It's dramatic.
Yeah, even the sounds for Umdawe, they are different. You see, they are not like the way they are faster in everything. Even the guitar of corner.
So Umdawe, there's none of the drama that comes with Umnguni, because Umnguni is very dramatic. Umdawe, because we're really speaking of the two today. But Umdawe, it's more quiet. It's more mostly when of course it's more. We are going to about. You have to actually. I'll sing aloud. You have to actually listen to be able to hear what it is that they are saying. My language, maybe that would be unfamiliar. They're also just not loud. Then Umdawu ufuna ukuthi kube nguwe who takes the time to listen to it. Yeah, I understand that when you actually liken them to royalty because of also just the way that it manifests. Phandle kwalendlela isebenza ngawo awusiko showy, awusiko, how do I put it? Uthulele. And that, I think, also makes it dangerous, more dangerous, because, you know, umuntu baka dramatic, yonke into iyaphuma niyathi ukuthi okay ugcina ngilo akafuni lokhu ufuna lokhu uyatithathela ujika lena la kufunako la ngakufuna uyakulahla. Umdawu, on the other hand, expects you to serve, expects you to be the one that listens, expects you for you to participate in actually finding and decoding the message that they are bringing across. Mkhulu, did I say that right?
No, it's right, because it normally comes in a more quieter way. You see, that's why sometimes in other instances it doesn't even need it becomes more quieter when it comes. You see, you have to be listening because it's a reality. Is the topper, is the top. You see, that's why everyone wants to associate himself with Umdawe. That's why when you address the spirit, maybe you have to start ukhuleke emandaweni kuqala emakhosini amandawe, because they are the greater spirit. You know, sometimes I don't know what people Babanguni, how do they take it, because but it's a fact that the Mdawe spirit, it's a greater spirit than spirit Mnguni. That's a fact, and that's why when you know of reality, if you yourself, you know, you have been a Bukhosini, where you know that the king is not the first one to speak. The king must be the last one to speak. That's why when and we are sekuphelile, so akukhulumi umnguni emuva. Umnguni will speak first, will pave the way for Umdawe, because Umdawe is the royal, is the superior one. So will pave the way and speak and do what it does. Every drama, everything that can happen will happen there. But then after all things have happened, then you will see that the person will change and go down and become more cooler. And then now it's time for Umdawe to manifest, because it's time for the king. And everyone now must listen. Everyone now must sit down and listen and take note that now the king is speaking. The king is speaking now. So it will be, the situation will become more calm. Even the drums for it, if you try a drum, they kick in a different manner. They kick in a different manner, and that is more quieter than when you shall that one that you beat it for Umnguni. You see, it's definitely a different, because this is royalty, you see, and this one it's like that's why some they say Umnguni is like the spokesperson for Umdawe, because goes ahead to prepare the way. You know, you remember in the Bible they say they used to say John the Baptist, he was the one who was preparing the way for the king to come. You remember they would say there was John the Baptist who was manifested first to prepare for the way for Jesus, to prepare for the king. It's like the same event when you're talking of Ngudati. You would say John the Baptist is like, when they're talking like the Umnguni, and then the king then comes thereafter. That's how it normally works. But at the same time, they recognize one another, they work hand in hand, and the other one knows very well that I need this one, I also need this one to function in a proper manner. You see, that's why you cannot say now I've got Umdawe alone. You also need Umnguni. Yeah, you can't have Umdawe alone. Even deeper Mozambique, where among the Bandawe people, you will find them themselves, they do recognize Umnguni as a very important and a vital spirit to function. You will find them that they do recognize Umnguni as very, very important, because they need their spokesperson to go ahead and prepare the way. Deeper in Mozambique, the spirit of Abanguni is there, very, very important and very vital. Because it doesn't mean when we say it's not of the reality, that we say the spirit is not important. The spirit itself is very important, even to fulfill and to complete the puzzle, because this thing, it works like a puzzle. If now you remove Umnguni from the puzzle, then the puzzle, it's not complete. The puzzle is not work, it won't work. So you will definitely need Umnguni so that the puzzle will be completely and function properly.
So
yeah.
So especially really minute, Mkhulu, just is there anything else that you want to say Umdawu that we have not covered?
About it?
Umnguni that we haven't covered. I'm just
okay, I know. No, definitely, Gogo. It's not a problem when it comes to Umnguni, because it's not a spirit that is troubling most of the people. Most of the people are being troubled when it comes by the other particular spirit. So when it comes to Umnguni, at least there are several people who are able to initiate it. Unlike the other spirit, where we find our people are heavily suffering. That's why you remember when we speak of Inzuza, I say I feel pity for people who have got that spirit, because I knew very well that it's difficult for them to be properly initiated, to find people who will properly initiate it. But because the majority of the people, you find that, okay, they've been initiated properly when it comes to Nguni. But when it comes to Inzuza or Umdawe, that's where the challenge that we are facing. And one of the things is that our people, they think they will be initiated around next door, around where they stay. And that's a very, very big challenge. You must know that when you have got a spirit, the spirit is foreigner to you. And we know that when you're talking of Ndawe, we know where the stronghold is. When you're talking of Umnguni, we know where the stronghold for Umnguni is. When you're talking of Inzuza, we know. Yeah, the spirit, all of them have.
Next door. Next door, but connected to us next door. I don't that simple to Twasa.
Yeah, but Nakona, I'm not saying they must Twasa next door, because in Nakona next door, sometimes you find them Bangako calling properly to Twasisa for a long good. But at least Warner, they understand it better. Most of Boko better understand it better. You will find that when a person up where a patron, we check this person, we check that person to find that Umnguni was fed well and Umnguni is satisfied. But when you come to
possible also, it is also the general, it's also a blood spirit for people in Southern Africa. Goguti mangathiwa nje uyothwasa umdiki. Umdiki would be easy. The bantu base Burkina Faso, for instance, they will transfer that better because more low prevalent la kubo. Njengoba nathi umndawo la njengoba nathi umnguni sikhona ukuthwasisa la khaya sikhona ku understand us because yinto lesiphila nayo lesihamba nayo, and it's basically it's our blood ancestors. Is it possible ukuthi maybe leyo into lena ukuthi kube lula?
Yeah, is that Gogo? Because as I've said, you remember I said for Umnguni udla intwaso, and for Umdawe we are parula. There's a different way you parula, which normally is done in the river. It's done in the river. You see, but now when udla intwaso, you use a goat, and that goat is something that is familiar among the Banguni people, because each and everything it uses the thing that is it's familiar. You know, ancient the Mnguni people, you will always find a home with a god among them, because a god it's very important even when they appease their ancestors. Whatever in every way they will use a god. In everything they do, they will use a god. So it is as you're saying that you can, if we have got Mandika, Umdiki, when you go there to those people, you will be initiated properly because they are familiar with the spirit. So even here in all the other spirit, when you are among the people with the spirit, you will be initiated properly.
Who's joiner from far? Who's just you actually took the time to join us and work with us. Class. Stella Togoza Keta, Valelisa Mkhulu, select Masekenz inyana.
Angiyathokozisa kakhulu kinonke kuzanonke bogogo bomkhulu etindzaweni tonke ngithi thokozani niphile nje niphile kahle ngithi ndawuwe shewe
ndawuwe ke Thokozani, thank you so much. We had a slight disturbance and ngicela kuvala. Siyabonga kakhulu. We will see you again next week. We have two more spirits to discuss. Kunesithunywa kunomdiki. I think those are the two that we haven't covered. And I will, during the week, we will let you know which one we will be discussing. Thokozani Banabadala. If you have any questions, please put them on the YouTube channel, and we will, when it goes up on YouTube, put your questions in the comments there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Thokozani.